Visiting the primary school in Havana, I was inspired when a group of children welcomed us by reciting a poem. We then visited a number of classrooms, and in the year 2 classrooms, the children were really excited to show us the English they had been learning. They could count up to 10, they knew some colours, and they could name some objects. Walk around the other classrooms, it was clearly evident that there was mutual respect between the children and the teachers.
And Catty, then we went to visit the music school in Havana. What did you experience there?
Well, it was a really inspirational. We went there and they received us in the main hall, and they did a few performances, and it just comes across like music in Cuba runs in their veins. There's music all around. The students are absolutely full of talent, and we were absolutely blown away by their talent.
And one particular SEN schools that we had the opportunity to visit was the Abel Santa Maria School for the Visually Impaired in Havana. It was a great school. We were able to also donate some braille machines, which various districts all over the country were able to donate to the trip. It was just lovely seeing the joy of the children. They were able to give us a musical presentation of singing and playing instruments while we were going around their classrooms. The joy of the children, loving the fact that they were able to go to school, the obvious commitment of staff and teachers, support staff in classrooms to the children and their education.
Most impressed by the love and care and attention that the staff members at the project had for the members. I was also incredibly impressed by how much they made out of so few resources and such little resources. For example, all of the walls were covered in beautiful murals that the members had painted. I was incredibly impressed with how communicative and how keen the members were to interact with us, even though we were brand new people. The thing I was most impressed by was their fantastic artwork.
What is the most inspiring thing that you've taken away from this school?
Oh, good question. I think how they keep things simple here. I think the situation in the UK sometimes overcomplicates things a lot, and it's just stripping back to those basics. The talent here and the specialisms of the staff, and being proactive as opposed to reactive in situations in terms of special educational needs and things like that. You can see that it's really beneficial for the welfare of the children.
Tom, what surprised you about this visit to this school?
It took me a while to click, and I thought when I was in a class of 5 children in year 4, I was like, actually, if that happened in West Sussex, that wouldn't be a class. They would have been put in with year 5 and maybe 6 as well. There's an entire infrastructure behind these classrooms that we don't have. That kind of that workforce, the funding behind it, the will to run these schools. There are 57 children in this school, and it's got a class for every year group that you would not see in West Sussex or most places elsewhere in the UK.
And Mel, you work in an inner city London school, and you're talking about building a partnership with this school. Why is that important?
I think because I really think that the children in my school sometimes lack experiences of rural life, and to actually have experiences of rural life in a very different setting, but in some ways that reflects some of theirs. I have a lot of children from Bangladesh, Somalia and so on, so they can recognise things from their own experience, but also learn about difference and learn about how we all should tolerate each other, and we've all got a lot to learn from one another.
What was most interesting about that visit to you?
Well, I work with children who've been permanently excluded, who have behavioural issues, so I asked questions about that. And what really impressed me was actually just the love, the care and the collaborative working and everything they put around that child to ensure that they succeed. The professionals work together, they design plans to support the child, and I just think overwhelming feeling of love and care really impressed me.
Betty, so you sort of expressed our gratitude to the school from the National Education Union. It felt like a quite emotional visit for you. Can you explain why that was?
I mean, for me, it's not just about being living in the UK and being a teacher in the UK. I think it goes beyond. And what I was impressed with is, I mean, from all my journey here at Cuba, it was the impact that kind of work could have as well as the Caribbean island where I'm from. And I think that's something I will bring with me when I go there, the passion the students have, how motivated they want to succeed, they've got aspiration, and also the connection and the collaboration that is between the parents and the teachers. And I think it seems to me like all the community are bringing up the child and making sure that they have a bright future. So that's what I was moved and I think inspired, and I want to take that away with me and bring it to wherever I'm going to go and travel.
And Rob, what surprised you most about the secondary school that we visited?
The thing that surprised most is the confidence of the young people there. We had a girl who was the leader of the pioneers in the school, and she was so confident, so clear in the way she spoke, and I think that's all to do with how empowered the young people are in this country. They become members of the pioneers, they have a say in the school, a say in how the school's run, and it really came across the effect that this has on them, that gives them a voice, which is something that's sadly missing in our own country sometimes.
Yesterday you were talking to a few people and you said that you felt this visit was transformative coming to Cuba, and we've just experienced the art school. How has this been transformative coming here today?
I mean, in the UK we have such a lack of arts in our schools, and it's really hard to watch it being diminished in our schools over the last 14-15 years. And to come here and see it so celebrated and so embraced, and it's such an intrinsic part of the culture, it's a really, really wonderful experience.
What surprised you about the visit to this school today?
What surprised me is how well they manage with what little they have, coming from the UK, where we have an abundance of resources, a surplus of everything, and really dedicated teachers. The level of what we've seen is just absolutely impressive. Such a nice way to end the trip.
And what emotions are you going to take away from visiting this school today?
Wow, I mean, a wide range. Love for sure. I think that's the overwhelming feeling I've had throughout the entire visit, was just the love and compassion and respect that's filled in these spaces. It's contagious. I leave every school with like a huge smile, and I'm definitely going to be bringing that positivity and love to my classroom, trying to like spread that throughout the school. I think it's amazing.
So Kevin, for the Cuba Solidarity Campaign, why is this delegation that's joint between the NEU and the CSC so important?
I think educators in the UK seeing the fantastic practice amongst educators in Cuba and getting inspiration from it is important, but also seeing the impact the blockade has, which makes things really hard in schools in Cuba. And so being able to do something about that, thinking that we can try and change it, that's why it's important.
And Louise, what can our members in the NEU do if they want to be part of the international work that the union does?
I mean, there's lots of options. They can become an international solidarity officer in their district. They can look at the different delegations we have and apply to go on those. But they can come along to events. There are a huge amount of events organised up and down the country. Delegates here from the Cuba delegation will be going back, organising events in their local area, so they can get along, learn about what we have learned and take that forward in their practice.
And Ollie, what do members need to do then if they want to become part of this delegation? How do they become part of coming to Cuba or to our other delegations?
Well, the first thing everyone should do is sign up to our International Solidarity Monday Morning Mail. That's our fortnightly newsletter that goes out to members that updates our members on our range of international work, upcoming events, opportunities to apply for delegations. I'd also really encourage prospective delegates to read the report that we published after this delegation briefing, which will give a flavour of some of the activities and meetings and engagements we have during this delegation. And of course, always to get in touch with myself, Louise, or any other members of the international team about the opportunities to join these delegations.